Are you a student or job seeker that has been told that networking is the best way to find an internship or a full-time role after graduation? Do you have a networking event coming up and are unsure what to do before, during, or after the event? Are you overwhelmed at all the networking advice out there and need some guidance? Well, this video is for you. In today's video, we'll be sharing tips to help you prepare and make the most of an upcoming networking event. Whether this is your first networking event or you're a seasoned veteran, this video will likely have a lot of helpful strategies and tactics for you to implement. While this video is directed to students, if you're not a student and are planning to attend a networking event, this video will still have lots of useful information. If you're a returning subscriber, glad to have you back. If you're new, hello and welcome. I'm Luki, and I make videos on what you didn't know you needed to know about jobs, careers, and life. First, let's take some time to level set, research, and prepare. To set your expectations, the goal of networking should be to build meaningful connections. While you might hope to network like a rock star and land a job offer on the spot, that might not happen. The recruiter or industry professional might meet tens or hundreds of people at the event, and that might be the third or fourth event that week. So don't take it personally if they don't remember, or if you didn't put on the performance of a lifetime. Do your best, make a meaningful connection, learn, and improve. That being said, make time to do some research. Who will be there? Companies, specific people, research areas of interest about the company. Taking a look at their typical About section on their website would be helpful. Also, taking a look at news articles or press releases about the company and about their industry as a whole would be great. For people, what are you curious about? What is common? What are areas of interest for you? Prepare some questions for them and be as specific as possible. Instead of preparing to ask, what do you do day to day? How about, I know that financial analysts typically do A, B, and C. Is that similar or different than what you do on a day-to-day basis? If there's a panel or a keynote speaker, prepare a question to ask. People who ask questions in front of everyone stand out. Create a prioritized list of folks and companies that you want to chat with, and make sure you tackle your top picks first. Even make notes. Prepare a cheat sheet. While it's great if you can memorize it all, a few prompts could be helpful. What you're really looking to do is to be able to say, in preparation for this event or to meet you, I did so-and-so. Then practice probing and asking for more. Practice listening to what they just said, adding some context, and asking a question about it. How about, that's interesting, or I did the same thing, or I did something similar. Then you can add some details about what you did and ask, can you tell me a little bit more about what you did? Or maybe it's, I haven't had much experience with that. And then you can add some more details about the closest relevant or related area, and then be curious about what they did. You also want to prepare and practice your introduction and your stories. How would you introduce yourself? You might want to prepare 2 or 3 or more of these variations of your introduction, depending on the type of person you're connecting with. Prepare a few notable experiences or achievements and practice telling them in a story. Use something like the share method, which can be helpful, though it might take longer to prepare a shorter response. Remember the situation, give some background and context, the hindrance, which is the challenge or the opportunity, the action, what was done, and specifically, what did you do, the result, what happened, and evaluate. Why would what you said be valuable? Now, this is optional since you're not necessarily familiar with the context of that particular person, though I'd recommend it if you can connect it with them or their company or their role, then it makes it that much more valuable. With something like share, you can share the story in as little as 5 sentences. Now, what's a good way to practice? Have conversations and coffee chats with people that you know but don't know well. How about that classmate that you see often and just say hi to? The goal is for you to practice being curious and interested and ultimately carrying on the conversation. These can be pre-arranged coffee chats or just short meetings before, after, or walking to and from class. Remember, practice makes progress. Then you'll want to prepare your logistics. If it's online, prepare to join on camera, test your connection, background, and dress professionally, even if you're joining from your bedroom. You have the advantage of having your notes available to you, though avoid using them as a crutch and do your best to remember what you can beforehand. If the event is in person, dress appropriately and comfortably. Bring your research on your device, or printed if you prefer. If you're extra shy or need help socially, see if you can bring a friend, ideally someone that is extroverted, that can help you connect with folks. Make sure you know where the venue is and plan to arrive early. You can often have such an advantage if you're early. Meet and thank the organizers. Ask the organizers if you can help. The organizers can be so helpful in connecting you with folks as they put on the event for you, and they want to make sure that both the students and industry folks have a good time. See if there are opportunities to meet the speakers, panelists, or industry folks early, and make sure to register and get familiar with the name tag conventions or any icebreaker or other activities that they might want you to do. Consider networking with other students and learn what they're looking for to help them, and share what you're looking for, and think of it as a warm-up practice. Then, follow the event agenda and structure. Some events have a structured component like keynotes and panels. Listen to what is being said and adapt your prepared questions. Look for opportunities to ask. If there's lots of questions and you're not able to ask, then you can save it for any open networking time or follow up after the event. Other events have structured speed networking with rotations. Now, follow the instructions and make sure you at least get contact information, and make sure you can share a little bit about yourself in these rotations. And other events will have just open networking. So you want to follow your connection prioritization that you prepared, and if there are booths, find the booths of interest, or for people, seek out those people of interest, but don't be so tunnel vision that you miss opportunities along the way. Leverage the introduction that you practice, ask your prepared questions, probe, be curious and interested. But be sure not to hog the person. Plus, you might have others you want to speak to. And make sure you get contact information to follow up. Now, before I tell you some common situations you might encounter at a networking event, give this video a like, as it helps reach a wider audience who might be interested in this video. Now, here are a few common situations that you'll probably deal with while networking at an event. Where do I stand? Typically, you'll want to be in a high traffic area where people are passing by, so you're not chasing after folks. So that's typically a few steps after registration or after the food and the beverages. Avoid before the food or beverages because you don't want to be keeping folks from being hangry. Avoid the bathrooms as you don't want to keep people from doing their business or surprising them right after they do it. What if you need to break into a circle? Well, there are often two common types of circles. One is there's a group that's already networking, maybe 2, 3, 4, 6 people standing around and chatting with each other. The other is a half circle, where there's a speaker or an industry person on one side and a half circle of students surrounding them wanting to chat. To break into one, you'll want to position yourself in an opening. Folks will generally expand the circle when they feel you in the area. You might need to make contact with the folks around you, and a quick introduction and mentioning you're just listening in and please continue can be helpful. You might need to make eye contact with the folks around you. A quick introduction and mentioning that you're just listening and please continue can be quite helpful. Typically, they'll bring you into the conversation later on, then continue as if you're part of the group. Now, what if you're stuck talking to someone that you don't want to be speaking to? Well, it's a good idea to build meaningful connections with everyone. Sometimes you connect with someone that just keeps going and going and going. So you'll want to wait for a pause, and you might even need to raise your hand as an indicator that you want to say something. And say something like, well, Luki, it was fantastic meeting you, and I don't want to keep the others from being able to hear about your insights. Would it be okay if we kept in touch on LinkedIn? Then you get their profile, thank them, and part ways. Now, do you need to bring business or networking cards? Well, generally no. Most folks realize that electronic means are better. You can find the QR code functionality on LinkedIn, or just search for them, or enter their emails into your contact list. Do I need to bring a resume? For a job fair, yes, you'll want to bring a stack of them. For other networking events, generally no. Your electronic communication will be good enough. Now, one of the most important things to do is after the event. Be sure to send thank you notes to everyone you met and look to continue the conversation. Something like, "Hi Luki, it was great to meet you at the event last night. What was the best part of the event for you? I enjoyed the keynote speaker and what they said about blah blah blah." If you can find a way to add value to them, even better. Now you want to put a calendar reminder to reconnect with them every 5 weeks or 5 months or whenever you feel is appropriate, and have it never end. Give them an update, ask them for an update, and find a way to add value to them. Reflect on the conversations and ask yourself, what did you do well and what could you do better? Then plan to do both next time. Do all these tips and you'll make the most out of your networking event. Remember, practice makes progress, which is especially important for networking. This video was brought to you by the Focus Inspired Academy. Click the link in the description box below for a free 1-month trial for supporting the channel. Remember to share this video with a friend. Let me know if you have any questions or what you're struggling with in the job search or career, and feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips on jobs, careers, and life. And YouTube recommends that you check out these videos next.